was the way you explained it which really,
I
interested.
think it's better. Let me explain it so
Please
that
go ahead.
I
So,
won't
go ahead.
be I won't be I won't be. Uh, I'm trying to remember what I said so that it will be a wrong notion will not be sent that people have personality, having personality at old age. It all started in their youth. Well, I think what rather the inference I had was that personality is part of humanity. Personality is part of health. Your your ability to take in, to receive love, to receive health care, to comply with, to adhere rather to the drugs you've been prescribed on, to take on personal initiatives to safeguard health and prevent deterioration of certain conditions. Uh, all also lie within your personality. There are a lot of things we talk when it comes to elderly care, things like autonomy. There's quite a lot of many terms to describe how you see the world, and how you see yourself, and how you see your ability in the midst of the aging process. So, and all of these are all influenced by your personality. So, what I was saying when we had that discussion is that I, of course, by some accusations, and of course, backed by evidences and literature. There are quite a number of things that we are not paying attention to while we're growing up that might actually contribute to our health when we are old.
Mm.
Of course, we talked about sleep because sleep is very important. Of course, even in the young, it's been observed that sleep contributes to your overall mental health. And we cannot dispute that your productivity at work is tied to sleep. How well you're able to recover from the day's fatigue and such to prevent you from having a burnout is also dependent on how refreshing it is every night. So all of that would have us put sleep to be very, very, very important. Well, with the temptation of trying to um, meet the figures, deadline orders, you might end up losing sleep. And of course, with the pressure of middle age, the middle age actually comes with a lot of pressure. It's the transition from the early youth to the adulthood, and then of course that age too. There's a lot of pressure. You
Mm.
trying to start a family, just
True.
started a
True.
family, trying to make sense of even what relationship is. I mean, the spousal relationship, the marital relationship, what it is, and then a lot of transitions going on. You're managing older parents. You some are beginning to lose the older parent. That's the shock of the transition, and then you have facts just like you are in the midst of several words, and you have parts that all of these words demands. Of course, being a productive class too, a lot, everything depends on you. The younger ones, the older ones have some kind of dependence on you. Not just only financial availability is demanded by these people. So it makes you put you under the pressure. And if you are not told early enough that you will be under that pressure, it might even worsen your response to it because it's not what happens to you that matters, it's going to you. As a matter of fact, there is a shock that comes with growth because you're not told what each phase of life has to offer. And then when you stumble on those things by yourself, it becomes so destabilizing because you're not told that that's how growing up or adulthood is. I want to get it, sir.
Sure.
Hello, sir.
Yes, I'm with
Mr.
you.
Tim.
I'm with you.
So I was of the I was of the opinion when we were speaking that I think we should start preparing for our old age right now
Mm.
when we can actually modify a lot which all of them are within our reach. And then they have a lot of influence to play, especially with the trend of the aging population, because it's been so much so in the last century that people are moving from we call it life expectancy. is going from has gone from 40s to 80s, 90s in many developed countries. And then in our generation, we might even push up to 100. Of course, the developing countries like us, Nigeria, still has life expectancy around the 50s and 60s. But as things get better, of course, we will move towards the trend in the Western world and to have more of the old people in our community. And there are projections as to in 2030, in 2050, the proportion of the world population that will be made up of old people.
Mm.
And we will be part of people too, definitely. So the thing is, we should expect to live longer in sports because also the science is getting more advanced from that aging. A lot of advances are coming up every day, and then there's so much being done. I'm also participating in some sort of research to make sure that we have things done to combat aging, and part of it, and because we have to prepare for our old age, and anyhow, we have to, for your own end, mentally, for my own end as a doctor, we will see how we can research to make our whole better. So I have said that personality has an influence. And from my observation, personality gets sharpened when you get older. If you
Mm.
have a type of personality, there's a tendency that it becomes more as you grow older. If
Correct.
you have an introvert, you might end up being more introverted. You might end up being more introverted in the process. If you're the extrovert, you might be more the kind of the person who wants to be listened to, and there are all people who like to be listened to. All they just want is come around and listen to all I have to say. Of course, the stories might be the same stories. They tell you the same stories, but of course, you don't have to get bored. You have to enjoy it because that's who they are, and that's what they enjoy, and that's the love you can give, the love you can show them. So, in other words, how all of this personality, if you are not a sociable type, you might also find out that aging might take a different shape on you because the less sociable, the more pronounced some aspect of the aging becomes. Uh, are we together, sir?
Yes, absolutely, we are.
Because your sociability will determine your baseline physical activity. Because of course, if you have the outgoing type who wants to talk to the person in the next room, wants to disturb, the kind of the naughty type, I should say, you will probably be all around the house, and it's good for your physical health. But if the person on the other hand is more of a reserved person who does not even want anybody to disturb, not like there's some people who don't even read their neighbor in some countries who don't bother. So if you're the type that don't even care about who is around you, it's get more pronounced with age, and of course it can accelerate some aspect of the aging.
Okay, doctor.
I want
Yes,
to
please
get this
quickly
one.
cut in
Yes, sir.
here. Yeah, okay, let me cut in here. Because you're already getting into my next, which is the last question. So, what are the things the elderly you're actually passionate about the senior citizens? I saw that very clearly when we saw the last time. So, what are the things the senior citizens, the elderly, can do to take care of themselves better? And then for those who are watching from diaspora, and then they have their, parents, their elderly ones, back home in the country, and they have been looking for, practitioners, medical practitioners like you to help out with care for their parents. How can they reach you? So I'm asking two questions. One, very quickly in like 30 seconds, how can the senior citizens take care of themselves better? And then how can you be reached so that your service can be harnessed?
Jump to answer. You know why? Because of the ethics of the profession. That's that would be tantamount to, in quotes, advertising. But of course, my Akintayo Onobola, I can get my profile online and reach out to me if you want to. Both also, I mean,
Sorry, come
back to your
again
first
with that.
question, rather.
So
The
please come again with that.
question is, I said, I said I may not be able to give my personal line or in order to push my service to people because of the ethics behind
Okay.
it. I would generously appreciate if anyone has questions. You can reach me online or of course you can search my profile. I'm not a corporate figure, but if you search my name, Akintayo Onobola, you'll be able to get the hold of me. Even
Okay.
my mobile phone. Mobile phones are everywhere online now. Online now. But I think back to the first question, I'm quite concerned about how we are just getting to realize that we have let our own parents back at home in search of greener pastures. And at the end of that isolation, uh, isolation caused by the crossing of borders of the, the people who should be the one to provide the social support for elderly people. But then it's a situation of, but because in a global village, meaning that no matter where you are, you can give all the support. First and foremost, make sure you communicate with your elderly ones, the old ones, often. You don't leave them. If you can do a video chat with them. You can do. Make sure you always communicate because communication is part of what keeps them going. The less you communicate to another person, the more the risk of losing the noise and the associated functions. So make sure you communicate with them. Number one. Two, try and find build a support system around them. They need people. Old age is a stage where isolation and loneliness can be so bad and so terrible. It can be even beyond. It can be beyond expression. The person cannot even express how lonely he or she is. So don't expect them to say, "I'm lonely. Get this someone to stay with me." If you might need a professional caregiver, there are agencies that provide such services in Nigeria now. I happen to work with one that we work side by side. When they need me for their medical stuff, I go there, and of course, they are doing great work. I'm impressed and I'm amazed when I got into this subsector of elderly care to see how much they've done in that space. So you need to provide the social support, caregivers, nurses if need be, the doctor if you think their health critical enough to, or might not even be critical, maybe you want a monthly visit. As they say commonly, if you are growing old, then you need a doctor because in old age they are more older people tend to manage more diseases than younger people because of course the wear and tear of growing up also adds to that too. Um, are we together, Mr. T?
Yes, absolutely we are.
Have I lost you? Yeah. So I'm almost running up on that. And I actually said something in our discussion in the office the other day. And it's been interesting that old age is heavily influenced by the mix of your relationship. I mean, if you are just the kind that relate horizontally, I mean, just peer-to-peer relationship, you might find out that that is not enough as you grow older. Because if you happen to live longer than your peers, you feel really, really lonely. So you need to mix your relationship. You need people at your level, the people about your age, and you need people older and younger. Of course, the older people will keep you going, they'll give you that positivity as to how aging could be. They'll open your mind early enough to the expectation of aging and what to expect and how to prepare for
All
it.
right.
I mean, they'll keep you in touch with what your next
True.
phase of life will be. Wow, the vibrancy, the energy, the community, that reason to look forward to, even when the kids are gone. Just imagine if you keep a friend with someone who's 20 years older and the person, he has just that energy to keep it going because you look forward to seeing the person. You want to pay him a visit. And
That's
I think that is the dynamics. And that's dynamics that is very much encouraged. So much so that we might, okay, I'll have to say something in addition to that. So much so that if that is observed, for example, they will call something advanced activities of daily living. These are the highest kind of function that you expect anyone to have. Your ability to perform your vocation, your ability to volunteer, your ability to go out there and be part of social events at old age. While our old people psychologically, I mean, I feel aging starts psychologically. When you tell someone you are getting old, you have to retire, it stays back at home and then you decompensate over the years. So, but if you let people know that no, there's nothing wrong, being 70 and going out and being part of social gathering and going to your churches or your other religious centers. You need to be part of the society, part of the community, because this is you need a community to grow old and grow old well. So you cannot grow old in your bedroom. You tend to have more diseases coming creeping on you right there. So you should encourage your older ones to mix up their relationship and then and also to mix with the community to be part of the community. I was impressed a few days ago. Was just early today. I watched online Professor Wale Shirika, who was on an interview. As you're aware, he's in his 80s. He was talking about an incident that just happened on his way back from France, which he was very disappointed about. And then I could say that the aging is a big topic, but of course, like I've said, you should encourage your older ones to relate with, to mix up their relationship, to relate with their community, to never stop engaging. Because the moment you stop engaging with the world, aging takes a very bad hold on you.
Thank you
So
very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Tayo. And thank you to our viewers as well. We really do hope you found these tips and information from Dr. Tayo very useful and helpful. Get close to your parents, get close to your grandparents because they need you much more now than you could ever imagine. Thank you also very much once again, and look forward to seeing you again in our next clip. Bye for now.